Here's a quick tip for those of you who enjoy Pilates or Pilates instructors that are trying to help their clients perform a better pelvic tilt or pelvic curl, because that exercise is a very popular exercise in Pilates. Now, this may seem weird, but you can actually facilitate a better pelvic tilt or curl by addressing dysfunction in the thoracic spine, which is the mid to upper back. Now let me make that make sense for you. The erector spinae muscles run all the way down the spine and attach to the pelvis and the lower back and sacrum. Now, if you have excessive thoracic kyphosis, which is a rounding of the upper back, it means the origin of those erector spinae muscles are going that way. That pulls the insertion, which is in part is the pelvis and lumbar spine with it, because obviously as the end of one muscle goes one way, the insertion of it is going to come with it. So the rounding of the upper back makes the pelvis tilt up at the back, which is an anterior pelvic tilt, and an overarching of the lower back, which is the opposite movement we want when we're doing a pelvic tilt or pelvic curl. Because a pelvic tilt or pelvic curl is a posterior tilting of the pelvis, or tilting the pelvis under, and a rounding of the lower back. So we need the origin of those muscles to be that way so that the insertion, which is the pelvis and the lower back, can release. So we're going to use 2 tennis balls as a self-myofascial release or self-massage technique to release those muscles in the upper back to help facilitate a better pelvic tilt and curl as a result. So I've got Ashley here, and she's going to show us that exercise. But you're going to place 2 tennis balls in a sock. You're going to put the first ball in the sock. You then can put a knot just behind that ball, because that's where the spine's going to be, because we're actually going to use these tennis balls on either side of the spine, and you don't want pressure on the spine itself. So the knot will actually protect the spine. You place the other tennis ball on top of that knot, and now you have 2 tennis balls in a sock with a space in between it for the spine. And with that end of the sock, it's easier for people to get that ball or those 2 balls behind them. So Ashley's going to grab a pillow. The reason why she's going to grab quite a big pillow is I'll explain that in a minute, and it's very important that you do use a large pillow when you first introduce your clients to this exercise or doing it yourself. So you're going to place those balls, Ashley, at about bra height on either side of the spine. And she's going to lie back over those balls. Perfect. Now, the pillow is there because if she is very rounded in her upper back and we get her to extend or lie back over those balls, then it's going to be too much pressure if she can't reach that pillow. So she's going to start to be like this. So she's going to lose, obviously she's going to get tension, she's going to feel like she's losing her breath. So we want a large pillow so she can lie back comfortably. Now, she's got those balls placed on either side of the spine of her thoracic spine. She's going to tilt her pelvis, because remember, we want the lower back to not arch. We want it to tilt, and we want to encourage arching of the upper back. Do you feel a tight spot? And let's hug ourselves as well. Perfect. That will get the shoulder blades out the way. Is that too much? It's a little too much. I see that Ashley, she took a breath, so she was trying to relax. Just let go of your pelvis. Good. So that will enable her to cheat a little bit, because at the start she's a little bit tight. So we're going to allow her to arch her lower back so that she's arching her upper back and lower back to try to roll over those balls. You feel okay with it when you let go of the pelvis? Yeah. Perfect. Now scooch a little bit so that the balls go to a new spot. You can bring the pillow with you. So grab the pillow, make sure it comes with you. Wonderful. And like I said, it's very important that you use a large pillow to begin with, so it's not too much too soon. You can always decrease that pillow as the upper back releases. No problem? So she can increase the pressure to the balls by performing a little pelvic tilt. You okay? You don't have to do it too much. Good. Now she's going to do all the spots of her thoracic spine. So she's starting to get extension in her thoracic spine, which will, remember, move the origin of those muscles that way, which will enable the pelvis to release, so that when she has better extension in her thoracic spine, she'll be able to perform that pelvic tilt or pelvic curl more correctly. Let's imagine we've done that for 3 to 5 minutes, doing all those spots up the thoracic spine. Roll to the side for me. Good, and roll back. Good. And now you'll feel, and just do a pelvic tilt. Put your arm out to the side so we can see this in the camera. Just do a pelvic tilt for us. Much easier now, isn't it? Yes, because her upper back is lying flatter to the ground, which means she doesn't need to cheat by arching her lower back to get her body into extension, which means she can tilt that pelvis and perform a better pelvic tilt and curl as a result. So next time you're having problems performing a pelvic tilt or curl in Pilates, Try this exercise to encourage better movement of the thoracic spine, and you'll feel that your lumbar spine and pelvis functions that much better.